Hello, it is Pup C here, and we are ready for another exciting week of vegan news. Now, all the articles I'm going to be talking about can definitely be found posted on my BlueSky account. So I've never been really a Twitter gal or on X at all, but when BlueSky came out, it did sound interesting and I love it. So easy to post articles and videos and all kinds of content there, which I've been doing, posting daily. And you can see the latest and greatest things going on in the vegan world. I definitely focus on the positive. So there's so much negative in this world. I love just having a place where it's a lot of positivity and encouragement. And you can see the progress towards this beautiful, cruelty-free vegan future, which I love. So I love the inspo and the happiness. But anyways, let's go over the past week and what's poppin' in the vegan news world. Well, there was an article kind of going over all the different things you can get vegan-wise in fast food restaurants. So I think the number one fast food place is Taco Bell. I hear people talk about it a lot. I know I had my fair share of bean burritos, no cheese. They have lots of potato sides, all kinds of things, super fun. And there's lots of accidentally vegan items. Like at McDonald's, their French fries in America are cooked in beef fat, or at least they were when I had asked about it years ago. And I think now I just recently heard their apple pies are accidentally vegan. So I think they use margarine or something in the baking process, but yay, if you like apple pies. There's just a lot of really cool tips in this fast food restaurant vegan article. Like Burger King, their French toast sticks for the breakfast menu, those are vegan. Yum. If you're also a fast food junkie, there's no shame. Like ideally, you want to take care of your health and eat lots of fruit and vegetable. But let's be real, like if you're into fast foods and that's a type of cuisine that you're going to dine on, just, go cruelty free and get the vegan version. Because nowadays there's so much tasty junk food that's vegan. And it's so silly when I hear people say like, oh, it's so processed. Well, yeah, but like this is for people who want to eat that anyways, okay? So like, you think a burger and steak and all that is good for you? No. You're gonna eat like, what is it? Chicken fried steaks or chili cheese dogs? I mean, get out of here. Like, if that's what you're into, then the vegan version is just fine. And if you're really into health, eat like a healthy vegan Mediterranean diet. There's all kinds of articles always promoting the vegan Mediterranean diet and how healthy it is. So anyways, moving right along. Next article that popped up this week was really interesting. It was about Korean Buddhist temples and how a lot of them are doing interesting vegan food things like pop-up restaurants and getting into the frozen food sector, selling that at grocery stores. One of the items that stuck out to me was called a spy burger, and it had some Korean flavors, I guess, that the public likes there, like barbecue and squid. So hey, it's very interesting. But yeah, the Buddhist temples in Korea were getting into fundraising and promoting themselves using vegan food, and apparently it's a big hit. So heck yeah for them. Another article, or there's so many articles about the egg situation. I don't know if it's hitting other countries like it is America, but people are really freaking out about, number one, eggs are hard to get. Number two, they're really expensive. So I don't have anything against someone who has pet chickens. And if you eat eggs from that, I think it's kind of gross, but you're not hurting them. They're like your pet chickens. That is like a whole different situation. Usually I think, at least I'll speak for me, I'm really against industrialized animal agriculture. Just, it's a hideous business. And when you put a lot of profits and money behind exploiting animals in any way, I think that's when you get into trouble. And when corruption and immorality just really strikes. So usually the eggs that you get, it's from these industrialized chicken plants, and it's just there's so much nastiness involved that you can look up. Just look it up. There's videos, undercover videos and photos and all kinds of detailed information you can get, firsthand experience from people who went there undercover and stuff, and interviews of people who worked in these places. But nowadays, we have delicious vegan egg options. In the US, the big guy on the block has been Just Egg. So Just Egg is mung bean based, and it's been doing really, really well here. Like, there was another article this week that came out about how this past January of 2025, I think they made 5 times the sales that they did back in January 2024. And it's, I think, in large part due to the egg crisis and people broadening their horizons. But they said the majority of consumers, they've noted, aren't necessarily vegan or vegetarian. So a lot of the vegan products I noticed that have gained popularity, and the biggest purchasers of those vegan products are flexitarians. And honestly, I don't know why they even use that word, because who's not a flexitarian? Like, who hasn't had a piece of fruit before, an apple, a banana? Who hasn't had rice? You know, like, it's just, those are vegan items, so it kind of makes me laugh. Like, no one strictly lives off of meats. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's it? Just meats? Just plain old meat? Like, do you use seasoning? Because that stuff is usually made from dried vegetables. So anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. But yeah, usually it's not someone necessarily vegan or vegetarian who's buying something like these alternative eggs, like Just Eggs. And now, in 2025, in the US, they're going to bring over a big UK brand, which is called Cracked. So I think Cracked is kind of the UK version of Just Egg, where it's really popular in the UK, doing really well. The difference is just what it's made from. So like I said, you have Just Egg made from mung bean. So Cracked is going to be made from pea protein mostly, some corn oil, some cornstarch, and a blend of pea in there. And that's what it's made up of. So it'll be cool to kind of compare and contrast the two, but I love that there's more available for us here in the States. By the way, a lot of the articles I post, they're probably going to be referencing things in the US. There's a lot of UK posts, some other countries too, like Korea, other parts of Europe. But that's mostly just because I think I'm finding English-speaking articles, so it makes sense that it would be English-speaking countries that they referenced. So yeah, currently that's what we're doing. And speaking of the UK, just this past week, there was a big restaurant chain there, or I'm assuming it's a restaurant chain because I've never been there, but it's called Brewdog, and I think it's a brewery, and they also have lots of like, craft foods that they sell there. Their big menu item this week was the Impossible chicken fillets. So vegan chicken fillet made by Impossible Food brand. And they're saying, hey, if you order this entree, you get another entree for $1. So I'm like, hey, that's a really cool deal. And I don't think they're a vegan restaurant. It's just a brewery with all kinds of food. But they were promoting this vegan food, and it was really cheerful to see. So love it. Love it, Brewdog. Keep it up. And then still staying in the realm of Britain, we have BAFTA, so the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. They had an awards show, and I guess they were serving a lot of really sustainable, vegan-friendly foods, including a caviar made from seaweed instead of fish eggs. So that's really awesome. I've actually seen the kelp caviar, so the vegan version of caviar, a lot of different places. I've never tried it. Maybe I would once. Like, I wouldn't even buy a whole tin of it. I would just, if someone had it, I'd be like, I'll have a little tiny piece. Because, like, fish eggs just does not sound delicious to me. But if you like caviar, that would be so fun to have. I'm so excited for those who love caviar that they have this great vegan caviar now. It's so good for you. Something gross, but not too gross. Not too gross to talk about, I should say, because I do try to stay away from any kind of like grotesque and like graphic imagery, because that'll just haunt my dreams. I do appreciate people who post it and get the word out there about, things that are going on in this world, and it's just another way to approach veganism. But for me, I'm too tender and emotional, and I'm already on the vegan train, so I'm like, I cannot see any upsetting videos right now or photos. No, thank you. So I won't ever post that kind of content. But anyways, on the not graphic but but still really gross topic of news. There was this guy, and they posted his like pictures of his hands and stuff. He was on a meat diet, and his cholesterol was so insane because all he ate was freaking meat. He probably was one of those guys that didn't even have potatoes. He probably just literally ate meat every meal, maybe raw meat. Ugh. And his cholesterol was so high it started coming out of his skin. So again, I post all these things on my BlueSky account. And it's Pup C Raw. Let me get for sure my handle. I don't want to mess it up here. But it's Pup C Raw. So if you look me up on BlueSky, you're going to see like photos and links and all the stuff that I'm talking about here. And there's a literal picture of his hands, and the cholesterol is coming out of his hands. It's right in the crease marks where his joints are. And I think it's on other parts of his body too, like the heels of his feet or something disgusting. And all of this stuff, it's just the cholesterol oozing out of his skin because it's so high. Like, I'm sure this man is like 2 steps from death's door. But it's not healthy to have a meat diet, y'all. It's not good to go on a carnivore diet. We're not carnivores. It makes your body short of essential vitamins, nutrients, fiber. Oh my gosh. It can lead to cancer. And it's not just me randomly saying this. Like, you can go and look at the article. It was on sciencealert.com, which I enjoy checking out. Science Alert, they always have interesting things going on in the world, like not just health info, but they'll talk about like things in astronomy. They'll talk about biology, oceanography, just whatever in the science world is popping. So I like to take a look over there. Also, I like looking at market reports in the vegan market. Like, I've never seen things take a turn. It's just going up. Some are exponentially increasing the market for certain vegan products, like eggs. Eggs are exploding right now. Vegan versions of eggs. That market's wild. And then you have others like Satan, however you want to pronounce it. But the growth of that market is also huge. And the only time I really had it and kind of sort of liked it was if it was as bacon on a BLT, so as a vegan bacon. But I know a lot of people cook with it. So that's cool. It's like one of those foods that you can experiment with, and it kind of takes on the flavor of whatever you want it to be, really. Also, there was an article talking about how to lower your cholesterol naturally. And of course, that's by eating a plant-based diet. So the top foods that they were really recommending everyone get on board with is legumes like beans and nuts and seeds and whole grains, fruit and vegetable, which I am all about the fruit and vegetable, and soy products. So you can kind of see all the details behind that on that article. I also saw another milk get released, pecan milk. So last week they released Doug, which is a brand name of potato milk, and it was cute. So you dig potatoes out of the ground, Doug, and so it was potato milk. This week it's pecan milk. So pecan milk is here. I swear, like any starch you can milk, just blend it up in a high-speed blender with water, add a pinch of sea salt. I always say add a couple dates or more for sweetness. That'll really do the trick, and then strain it, and it'll make it smooth. So that's my recommendation for making your own milk. You can make any kind of milk you want, but if you want to buy it, pecan milk is here, baby. Really good news from Wales. So they have become the first UK nation to ban greyhound racing. I didn't know that was such a big thing. It does seem kind of European. Maybe they have it here in America too, and I just don't pay attention to dog racing. But it's being banned in Wales. Heck yeah. And it's because, it's really dangerous for the dogs. They have serious injuries because they're moving so fast around the track. Sometimes it's so bad they have to euthanize the dog. So that's horrific. But good on them, for making that outlawed and banned. Good job, Wales. Good job. And going back to market talk, so the vegetable farming industry is also booming, and it's really due to vegan, vegetarian, flexitarian, but people in general wanting to get healthier. So not just vegan and eating as much junk food vegan foods, which there are plenty of, but really leaning into healthier vegan foods, which is just fresh fruit and vegetable, making their own foods with that. Or like me, just a ton of salads, y'all. So much salad. Oh, I like posting salad photos so much. Maybe I post too many salad photos, but I just love it. They're so beautiful and colorful and delicious looking. I can't help myself. I cannot help it. But anyways, the vegetable farming market, the size is expected to increase from, gosh, it's a huge number. 17, like 1,000. I don't even know how to say this number. It looks like 1 trillion. Like 1,714,000,000,000. That's what the number looks like to me, which is insane. Like, I just can't even fathom that number. But I think it's worldwide. So going from that this past year to almost doubling that by 2029. So, and they do say the Earth's population is slowing down, if not going to make a turn and decrease. So I don't think it's because of more people consuming food. I really think it's because people are turning to fruit and vegetables. So the vegetable farming industry is really growing and no slowdown in sight. So fantastic. Love it. Love to see it. Maybe they'll have more varieties. I can't get enough of varieties of fruit and vegetable. Speaking of which, have you guys ever had a black Arkansas apple? They're so good. Like, I only had them one season at Whole Foods like 5 years ago or more, and it left such an impression, and I kept buying them. I'm like, this is an amazing apple, and then never again. I've seen some apple brandies made out of it. There's one, what's the name? I think Applejack is the name. I mean, that is the term of the alcohol, but I think it was called Applejack. Gosh. But it was Arkansas black apples that they used. There was one family farm, and that was their thing. Anyways, fun facts. But Arkansas black apples, that's a variety I would love to see more of. And, there's so many. Like, I live in Hawaii right now, and there's so many interesting varieties of banana. There's ice cream bananas, apple bananas. And honestly, once you get hooked on apple bananas, going back to the regular kind at the store just will not do. You get spoiled with apple bananas. They're, like, so sweet, and they're littler in size, so it's great for bringing as a snack, not as big of a commitment once you bust one open. So there's that. But anyways, going off on a tangent. I also posted, someone had a cool photo showing all the different egg replacers that you can use. One of my favorite for baking, right, is going to be applesauce that people know about. But also people are talking about, what do we replace egg whites with? If you want like a fluffy egg white something. There's aquafaba, which is that liquid from garbanzo beans, like when you open the can and you whip it up, So there's all kinds of things you can use to replace egg. And like I had mentioned before, Just Egg or Cracked are great ones for scrambles and things like that. Another victory on the animal rights front was the European Respiratory Society. I guess they had been using live animals for medical training for who knows how long. And one of the big species that they were really hurting was piglets, little pigs. I don't want to think about what they did. But the good news is that they're putting an end to that, and they're using better methods, like simulations and things like that, but no live animals. So fantastic. Love it. European Respiratory Society. Good job. Good job getting on the right path, the right side of history here. Yes. If you're a fan of Dunkin', which I think is disgusting, I don't understand why people love it, but I don't mean to be a hater, but I hate it. I'm like, why? They have no vegan donuts. That's going to be a little side rant. Like, how are you in 2025 and you don't even have one vegan donut? That's insane. That's crazy. But they do have no more extra charge for vegan milk. So that's good. Oh my gosh. So no more upcharging for vegan milk if you go to Dunkin'. They'll have some other like vegan option you can choose, and it won't be any extra cost to you. Heck yeah. I know Starbucks is already doing that, which is good. Dutch Bros, Tim Hortons, this place I've never heard of called Scooters. So those are all doing it. And there's who else? There was another big chain. I think it was Pete's Coffee or maybe Phil's Coffee, one of those that I think PETA was trying to reach out to and have them change their ways too and make sure we're not charging extra for vegan milks. Come on, guys. Come on. Something cool I saw was, there's a lot of casein. So I usually look at this and I say casein. I'm probably saying this wrong, but I've had many years of in my mind when I see this word, I say casein. It's casein. It's like this milk product that they use for production of dairy. Anyways, there's this Tokyo-based food tech startup, and they are developing a rice-based source of casein. So it's a protein that, you find in milk, you use it for other dairy products, like I said, but they're making their own. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be rice-based, all vegan, and to promote this, their new product launch, they're making a vegan ice cream. So that'll be cool. So that's what they're going to use, a rice-based vegan ice cream to say, hello world, here we are. If you need vegan casein, we are your guys. So good job. And then on the product front, there's this little kids milk brand called Kiki Milk, and that is so cute. And the main company who puts it out is called Plant Baby. And that is also so cute. Plant Baby makes Kiki Milk. Like, excuse me? The most adorable names ever. And I guess they're the world's official first organic plant-based milk just for kids. So that is going to be something available at all the Sprouts locations in the U.S. And there's like over 400 Sprouts grocery stores. So they have like chocolate milk and original milk and unsweetened milk. And yeah, it was so cute. Mostly I got suckered into talking about it because the names were adorable. And I have never heard of kids' milk like that. And you're like, what is kids' milk? I think of like Pediasure or something. They have I've seen little kids' milk. It's marketed to them, and I think it has different kinds of nutrients that are included in it. Because usually when people buy cow milk, it's fortified. And so for kids, they just fortify it with certain vitamins that are really good for kids, I guess. So same kind of thinking, I'm assuming, with this Kiki milk made by Plant Baby. My goodness. And really cool, I heard there was a company it's the official brand name is ACG Capsules. So they manufacture capsules for the pharmaceutical industry. And if you've ever noticed, most capsules for pills are gelatin. They're made out of gelatin, which sucks. Sometimes you'll see one made out of pectin or something, which is amazing. It'll say vegan capsules. But the capsules themselves, they're just so mass produced and there's all gelatin. So now this ACG Capsules company that does a lot of manufacturing for capsules, they're making fully vegan printed capsules. So the little capsules, they can have the print on it that has little numbers or some kind of pharmaceutical information. So I was really excited to see that because it's not something you normally think about, but it'll have a major impact just because people take pills all the time. My goodness, for all kinds of reasons, people need medications. So it's going to be one of those big heavy hitter consumables that you just don't think about, because who would want in their free time think about pharmaceutical capsules? But it is really good news. I was happy to see that. There was one gross thing I posted. It was this article about a freshly cut meat video that makes people turn vegan. Okay, it was described, quote unquote, as a bizarre viral video has sparked outrage and disgust online, pushing some viewers to go vegan and swear off meat entirely. And then it has a little photo clip on the article link that'll take you to the article and then a link to the video. And I did not watch that video because it sounded gross as hell, but I was just pumped that something is reaching people. I think whatever reaches people, fantastic. Positivity, great. If it's food and you're inspired by food, great. If it's like me, where you're just shell-shocked and you have PTSD from researching veganism and industrialized animal agriculture, and you see slaughterhouses and oh my gosh, that's another way you can just get shocked into veganism. But there's so many paths. So if this creepy, gross video gets you, good. Making the world a little less cruel. I like it. And then if you're a football fan, there's this guy, Tom Brady. Okay, I'm not really into football, but I know he's super famous. Like, I've heard the name before. And my brother did ask me, like, if I knew he was the GOAT, which, sure, greatest of all time. Mostly when I think of the GOAT, I think of the Olympian. Oh my gosh, my brain just froze. What's her name? Like, famous gymnast. What's her name? She's so famous. It's like right there in my mind. But you know what I'm talking about? The GOAT, Olympic gymnast. Oh my gosh. I'm like, the second I'm done recording this, I will immediately think of her name. But I'm sure everyone knows who the heck I'm talking about. But whenever I think of the GOAT, I think of her. I think of Olympian gymnast. But I know, like, my brother and some other people, when they think of the GOAT, they'll think of this guy, Tom Brady. And anyways, the point of that is he just released his own little gummy snacks, and they're vegan, which I'm like, good job, Tom Brady. Good job. So I'm like super pumped. And they're called GOAT gummies, which again, I'm getting suckered to post articles based on cute names. So I saw that. I'm like, GOAT gummies. Oh my God, greatest of all time. That's so cute. And they're vegan, yes. So I posted that. And if you like Tom Brady, great. Buy some vegan gummies from him. That's great. Okay, another quick mention about vegan markets and doing well. The vegan snack market is also increasing by kind of a crazy amount. So in 2024, it was estimated to be worth $51 billion US dollars. By 2032, it's jumping to 82 billion. That's like crazy growth. So vegan snacks are definitely here to stay and growing. So we'll have even more different kinds, which I love because they'll probably be better tasting things that we've never had before and new interesting flavors. So that is lovely. I also posted this cartoon photo, and then I ended up reposting it today, and I pinned it to like all these different social media accounts I have because it got me, but I'll get to that later. So I'll save that for the end. But that's something that's posted, and I do a lot of other postings just of my own personal photos, like things I'm trying or I saw at the grocery store, or like my salads, too many salad photos. So you'll see a lot of that. Something really cool that happened in Downers Grove, Illinois, was they just passed an ordinance to prohibit declawing of cats. So if you didn't know, cat claws, they're essential to like kitties' overall health. So when you declaw them, you can cause chronic injury, lifelong pain. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. So they did pass an ordinance to outlaw decline of cats. And I was so happy to see that. I'm like, heck yes. Like, all these things that lead to less cruelty in the world, fantastic. Love it. Love it. All right, here's yet again, just yesterday, another brand name that got me. It's a cashew-based cheese alternative, and it's called I Am Nut Okay. So dumb. So dumb, but I just love cutesy names. It's a UK brand, and I guess they're having crazy sales too, like 24% increase just over the last year in their sales. Although they're using cashews, which honestly is almost a cheat, because any cheese made with cashew, it's going to be really hard for you to mess that up. Like, mostly it's got nutritional yeast in there. If you have cashew as a base, slam dunk. Like, you can make this stuff yourself too. Cashews in a high-speed blender like a Vitamix. Throw in some nutritional yeast. Throw in some sea salt. You're going to need some water. Maybe you add some sunflower seeds. Get some extra vitamin E. I mean, get crazy. But this is kind of the base. And so, yeah, cashew cheese, I'm not mad at. All the best cheese I've ever had is cashew nut based. So if I see that it says cashew nut based, I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to have a good time right now. Things are going to be good. So I'm not surprised that they're popping off, and they have such a cute name. I Am Nut Okay. All right, so cheesy, but I love it. And then also yesterday, there was an article talking about how there was over 5,000 alternative protein patents that have officially been published by European organizations. So just imagine the rest of the world, or the US. I have no idea what the numbers are behind that. But in Europe, there's been over 5,000 patents published for alternative proteins. And by that, I mean, it could be talking about dairy. I think the vast majority of these patents were regarding faux meat, so vegan meats of some sort. Like the major brands you would know is like Impossible Burger or Beyond Meat, those are alternative proteins. So just over 5,000 patents. Like you can think, I was talking about how earlier in the week, was it BrewDog? And they were promoting the new Impossible chicken fillets. Okay, there you go. That was patented, I'm sure. So that's an alternative protein that was patented. And then last week they had, was it Beyond Meat? I think so. Beyond Meat releasing, it was Korean barbecue style beef and something else. There's just so much different kind of vegan meats that are out. So yeah, just a ton. It says that the publication rate is growing by an average of 32% a year. So that's an extra 32% year upon year of different vegan meats coming out. And again, it's a little bit of like vegan dairies and other kind of proteins too, like protein powders, but by and large, it's mostly talking about vegan meats. So whatever you want to eat that's meaty, you're going to have a delicious vegan alternative if you don't already have such. So good job, world, doing better and providing the people what they want, making it easier for them to be vegan. I saw, this was posted everywhere, but I posted it too, that there was a big old vegan Easter egg. So it was made out of vegan chocolate. And inside they have these little Easter surprises. And I'm like, that is so cute. How can I not repost this? There was a lot of just egg facts that I posted. And if you haven't already heard of this website, Food Facts, it's foodfacts.org, and they kind of just rebuke any bad information out there. So sometimes in social media, something will go viral that's totally fake, or you'll see a YouTube video of famous influencers that have interviews or podcasts or whatever, and they put out misinformation about nutrition, especially when it relates to plant-based or vegan foods. And if anything's untrue, they correct that on this website, foodfacts.org, and they do deep dives into the peer-based research behind it. So they don't just talk out of their butt. Like, they back everything up. They'll have links to where they got their information. And again, this is not opinion information. They're doing just straight out of like pulling it out of the research. So everything's linked up there and you can see where it's coming from. The most recent one I saw was about dog food. And they were describing how, dogs, they've evolved from their wolf ancestors. So when people say, no, dogs are from wolves and wolves are carnivores. Well, no, dogs are dogs. They're not wolves anymore. And now they have mutations in their body that have allowed them to digest starches, so that's how they've evolved. They can digest starch. They can do plant-based just fine. And, you get all your essential nutrients if you have a nice balanced like protein, amino acid, vitamin set, which most all, I would say, who doesn't? If you're a dog food manufacturer, how are you not including all the correct balance of proteins and amino acids and vitamins in your food, your dog food? And there are plenty of vegan brands out there for dogs. So anyways, they were just kind of fighting against this notion that it's unhealthy to feed your dogs plant-based diet, because that's just not the case. That's just not the case, y'all. And then, okay, I will end it on this. I will end it on this cartoon that captured my heart and soul. And when I first saw it, it's just this really little tiny cartoon picture, kind of, like 5 frames, a conversation between a dog and a pig. It sounds so silly, but when I first saw it, I was just like immediately crushed, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And it encaptures like why I'm vegan. It was heartbreaking, and like, it's so silly, but like I couldn't shake it out of my mind. And at first I didn't want to look at it again. It was too sad. And then I just kept looking at it. And I think about people who buy artwork, or they're like, why do you like this art? What is this? Is this fluff? Like, and they say, no, it's whatever you have an emotional reaction to. And this is like a literal cheesy little like 5-frame cartoon image. Okay, this is not like some fine masterpiece, but it maybe is a fine masterpiece to me, because it really got me emotionally. It really got me, and I freaking posted this everywhere now. I like pinned it on my BlueSky account. It's on my Instagram page, my TikTok, my YouTube. It is up there, baby. It is up there, because it meant so much, and it just conveys like the reason of why would you be vegan. Or like people say, what are you talking about, like cruelty to animals, what are you talking about? And it's just this easy to digest cartoon, and it just leaves you with or at least it leaves me with a freaking gut punch of reality and the injustice. And like I just think animals are so innocent and precious, and there's no reason to hurt them. And like, what is this crazy world we live in? So all these words to describe something that literally doesn't have that many words in it, when you're looking at this cartoon and you're like reading the word bubbles, there's not that many words written. But just check it out. Like, again, I posted it all over all of my social media. I do recommend just going to my BlueSky, because again, I post every day on here, but it has links to every article I reference on this podcast. So definitely helpful. And honestly, I think BlueSky is a cool little app. So if you don't have it, I'd say when I scroll through and I search for vegan, like half of it is not good, because people are just that way, and I'll skip it. And by not good, I mean people trolling or saying weird stuff. And then the other half, which honestly I feel like for the internet is a really good percentage, that half of it's positive, but it is. There's like so many innocent people and they post great photos of food, like freaking me, my salad photos. I saw some guy, he was like, hi, I just wanted to tell you guys I got like a really yummy vegan sandwich and a new haircut. And he posted a picture of his sandwich and a picture of his haircut. And I'm like, that is so innocent. And people are responding positively. I love it. I love the community. So anyways, I do recommend BlueSky, y'all. And I hope you all have a fantastic week. I will keep the updates coming weekly. And then for the latest and greatest, you can just check out my daily drops on this little BlueSky app. All right, well, until next week, bye, everybody.